Hey, what's up, everybody? Chris here, and I've got two different videos planned in celebration of E3, which is coming up, I think, in the next week and a half or so. So, I wanted to talk a little bit about what I want to see out of Xbox and Nintendo, and I don't think Sony's going to be there. I'm sure they're probably going to have their own information that they release as sort of a standalone thing. But let's just talk about Xbox and Nintendo, and specifically today, Xbox. So, again, a little bit later, heading into the next week or so, I'll talk about Nintendo, but really, for me, when it comes to Xbox, it begins and ends with this: Halo Infinite. So, in my sort of estimation, it's really time for them to have this game ready, right? I mean, it was supposed to be ready with the launch of the Series X and Series S. It got delayed, and I'm totally fine with that. As long as it makes it a better game and they know they can improve things that need to be improved. And a lot of people had, quibbles with the way the graphics looked and all that. And I personally, I thought it looked okay. I didn't really have any big issues with that because to me, Halo's never been one of those games that's going for ultra realism in the same way that something like Call of Duty might be. But anyway, they took the time to continue improving the game, which is great. In my mind, it should be ready by this coming holiday season. If it's going to be out any later than November, then I think that's a problem. So I want to see the updates they've done with that. I want to see the gameplay. I want to get a little bit more depth about the game itself. And I think just kind of see how open world this really is. And I think that's another area of criticism that some fans have had with this, is that they don't want it to be so open world that it becomes sort of a totally different thing than what Halo should be or what we know Halo to be. But I just want to see where this thing is, and I want to get a release date for it, which I think is really needed at this point. So I think, really out of the gate, that's what Xbox needs to have as sort of its central focus. If they can't have it out by this coming holiday season, then that is a major problem in my mind. I also want to see some updates about Microsoft Flight Simulator. That's supposed to be coming to the Series S and Series X. I haven't checked to see what the updated release dates for that look like, but I imagine we'll probably get some kind of information about that, maybe even, hopefully, a tangible release date. It may be coming out this summer. I could just be misremembering, but I want some more information about that. I think that would be great. That's a game I'm really excited to check out. That's the sort of thing that I feel like I could just spend a lot of time sort of messing around with and having fun with. So that's another big title that I want to see. I would love to see, too, what's going on with Bethesda, right? So, obviously, one of the biggest pieces of gaming news this past year was Microsoft's acquisition of, I guess, ZeniMax Media, and more specifically, Bethesda. So I think the big game that people are thinking about right now is Starfield, and I do think we'll probably get a little bit of gameplay footage of that. I don't have any idea when that's supposed to be released. I would think it's probably early 2022, but maybe I'm way off base with that. But I want some details with that, because I think that'll help drum up a little more hype and excitement for Xbox as a platform. Right now, I think people see the potential with Bethesda, but I think there needs to be something a little bit more tangible and concrete in terms of, where they're at. What kind of progress have they made with this game? And is this going to be kind of a killer IP? I think a lot of people feel like it probably, again, has that potential, but just aren't sure. And, things have been a little bit shaky since Fallout 76, in my mind, with some of the major Bethesda properties and kind of seeing where they're headed as a company. So I want to see what they're going to do with that. I'm excited about that game. I think that's going to be the type of game that's honestly right up my alley. So, yeah, I want to see more about it. I think, too, maybe getting some updates on something like Fable, which is another huge, IP from Microsoft, would be a good thing. I want to see what kind of progress they've made there, if anything. And again, this could be the kind of E3 where we don't get a whole lot of information about, big games that have been announced in the past. That happens sometimes. This happened on Nintendo's side with something like Metroid Prime, where they had to essentially, Metroid Prime 4 that is, they had to start from scratch and sort of revamp the progress they made there. But I kind of have a feeling that Microsoft, knows what they need to do. They've done a really good job of, I think, sustaining momentum since the launch of the Series S and X. Really going back, I think a couple of years to, the Xbox One X and progress they've made with that. So I really have a lot of I guess, good faith for them. I think that they're going to do what they need to do. I think they're going to bring a lot of excitement to their platform. But I want to see it, right? I want to see the progress they've made. And I would like to see maybe just one totally out of left field IP sort of come out into the limelight as something that we didn't expect, to really, I think, just distinguish the fact that, and draw attention to the fact that Microsoft is really doing what they can to make themselves sort of a standalone, property that people want to go to when it comes to playing big cinematic games. The kind of thing that has really distinguished Sony over the years, right? I think a lot of Xbox fans want to see effort being put into that sort of thing. So that's kind of what I'm looking forward to. Maybe the Perfect Dark game that was glimpsed, I think it was maybe a year ago, whenever it was, would be part of that. But I want to see something that we maybe haven't seen yet. Just something to say, look, here's a new IP. It's not a revival of something old. Here's something totally fresh that we've developed and we're ready to share with the world. So beyond that, I just don't know what else really Microsoft needs to do. I mean, those are kind of the main things that I want to see, but let me know in the comments down below what you're hoping to see from this E3 when it comes to Xbox. Do you want to see more about maybe what is going to happen with the hardware of the Series X and Series S in the future? I mean, I would imagine those are set for the time being. We're probably not going to get any revisions anytime soon, but especially because people can't even get a Series X really right now. It's so hard to find. But again, let me know in the comments below what you want to see from Microsoft. And as always, thanks for watching.